Google Ads is based on an auction system where when a user searches for a keyword, your ads go up against all of your competitors' ads, and then Google quickly decides who wins the auction and who gets the different placements of ads. Now, ideally, you want your ad to be finishing in that number one. You can get away with number two, but you really want those top two positions. And the best news is about Google Ads is that unlike other auctions, the one who's willing to pay the most doesn't always win. So with a house auction, it very much comes down to the highest bidder always wins. That's not true with Google Ads. And the reason for that is because Google doesn't only look at your bid, so how much you're willing to pay, because Google uses a formula, which is your bid times your quality score, and that gives you a metric which is called its ad rank score. Now, the reason for why this is so important is because a core concern for Google is the ad relevancy, because they want to make sure that they're showing the most relevant ads, because if they continue to show irrelevant ads, people click on the ads and they go to unrelevant pages, people lose confidence in the platform, and then ultimately they'll see their ad revenue diminish. So that's why if you really understand that core concept of making sure you've got highly relevant ads, and what you always want to be doing is you want to make sure that your ads are relevant to the user's search and they're also sending people to the most relevant landing page. Now, another core metric is the click-through ratio. And this is where your ad copy becomes so important. And what this is really looking at is that the percentage of times that someone clicks on your ad versus how many times they see it. So if your ad's shown 100 times and someone clicks on your ad 10 times, you've got a click-through ratio of 10%. Now, this is the really core factor, because if you have a high click-through ratio, that is going to increase your ad rank. And the reason for why this works, especially for small advertisers, because if you can understand this core concept right at the start of your Google Ads journey, you're going to be set up for success. Think of it like this. Ultimately, Google is in the business of making money, but they only get paid when someone clicks on your ad. So let's just say that you are willing to pay a maximum, or your bid for an ad is $2 for the search term women's summer dresses, and you have a click-through ratio of 12%. And you might have a competitor, they've got a bid of over $5. So over 2 times what you're willing to pay, but their click-through ratio is only 3%. Who would win that auction? And the good news is that you would win the auction, because even though the competitor is willing to pay $5 and you're only willing to pay $2, you would win, because Google would much prefer a 12% chance of getting $2 versus a 3% chance of getting $5. Because when it plays out over 100 clicks, if Google showed your competitor's ad, they would only get $15, 3 clicks, $5 a click, $15. Whereas if they show your ad even at $2, but they get 12 clicks because you get a 12% click-through ratio, Google would get $24. So you can see very clearly that's the incentive of making sure you've got a high click-through ratio on your ads. So now that we've said all of that, let's get into a screen share so I can take you through the process in how to set up your first Google Ads campaign. Now, just in case you miss any of these steps, what you can do is if you follow the link in the description below, you can get a free download of my Google Ads campaign setup guide. And what that is going to do is that's got screen shares and it's also got instructions. So if you miss any of these steps, don't worry, just follow that link in the description below. All right, let's now get into that screen share so I can take you through the process of setting up your first campaign in Google Ads. All right, so where we want to start with is I just want to quickly run you through the structure you should be using for your Google search campaigns. And what you want to be looking at here is obviously you've got your total Google Ads account. Then you've got what we call Google Ads campaigns. Now,